I think that immigrant parents generally, and my parents in particular, raise you in a way that doesn't let you take anything for granted.
Give all roofers who's watching us right now a piece of advice.
I think that when that time comes, obviously it's going to be a key thing. I think it's the most important thing, period.
And once the roofer gets screwed, he's going to be very careful next time before signing up with anybody.
The next day, we launched the product kind of inadvertently, and then since then it's been a really fun and dynamic journey.
How many employees do you currently have?
About 40.
40 employees. How many employees did you have 6 months ago?
12.
It's a fast growth. You mentioned today on our radio show that you have been asked to evacuate because of the bombing in Lebanon. Tell me the story behind it.
So the radio show was about how to handle hurricanes, natural disasters, so I was asked if I ever had to evacuate for something like that, and I said the only context in which I had to evacuate was in 2006 when I was in Beirut. There was a war going on, more of a skirmish going on between the factions in southern Lebanon and Israel, and there was a bombing campaign and they were flying planes. It was just not a good time to be in Beirut. At that point, the American and French government evacuated citizens from Lebanon, and so I evacuated as part of that.
How did it feel? Did you feel threatened for your life?
It was definitely very scary. I mean, I don't know, some people probably watching your show have experienced that. It's a pretty unique experience. It's scary for sure, especially being a kid. I mean, I was pretty young at that period of time.
What age did you move to the United States?
I was actually born here. I was born in Greenville, South Carolina, yep.
How often do you go back?
So I never lived in Beirut, but I spent every summer there growing up because both of my parents are originally Lebanese.
Okay. So you have grandparents and still extended family there?
Definitely.
Your parents are from Lebanon. How being an immigrant for them and being first generation immigrant, how did it affect your business and your roots pretty much in here? Do you feel the influence of your parents?
I think that immigrant parents generally, and my parents in particular, raise you in a way that doesn't let you take anything for granted. And so my parents both have incredible personal stories. My mom never went to college. My dad, he was actually born in northern Brazil in an area called Porto Velho, which is in the Amazon rainforest. And so both of them fought hard together to build our family. And my sisters and I was lucky enough to go to Stanford, which is a big deal for them. Obviously a big deal for me as well. And so they just taught me, never to forget that was generated through sacrifice, and that kind of my responsibility is to propagate a sacrifice that was made on my behalf to future generations of us. And so that kind of culture and value system is probably what's most particular.
What do they do now?
My dad is in the auto industry, and my mom does real estate. They're since divorced. My dad lives primarily in France, and then my mother lives in Lebanon.
How do you usually start your day?
I usually wake up around 4:30 or 5 a.m. and then depending on the day, I'll either work out or I'll just start working or reading. I usually try to get into the office around 8 or 9. Usually it gives me enough time to do a bunch of reading and get through my emails, because email is like this incessant
What do you usually read?
I read a lot of different types of books, but I systematically in the morning read the newspaper, so various newspapers.
You launched a platform at Roofing Expo. Out of all trades, why did you pick up a roofing trade?
Essentially, nobody's totally figured out how to help homeowners finance their projects online. So that's just not something that people have been able to do correctly yet. And so we tested a lot of different things to solve that problem. And what we found was the loans that we were originating were actually coming primarily in roofing. And so we thought about that, and we were actually testing a product at the Roofing Expo. It was supposed to be where we would sign up some beta customers, and then the night before we all huddled up in a Airbnb, 4 or 5 of us, and we were going over our pitches, and we said, okay, well, how about we kind of just consider this the launch? And at the time we were probably 10 people, and then the next day, we launched the product kind of inadvertently, and then since then it's been a really fun and dynamic journey.
How many roofers do you know by now?
Do I know?
Yeah.
Well,
How many customers do you have, and how many do you know personally?
we have a couple thousand customers at this point, and it's growing very quickly. I think by the end of the year, we'll be probably just a little bit under 5,000. Next year, our goal is to get a lot further beyond that. So one of the unique things about our product that we figured out, and honestly, this was somewhat inadvertent, is that we don't have to underwrite the contractor, and because we originate directly to the homeowner, so we give the money to the homeowner. And so as a consequence, it's way easier than any of these other products out there in terms of getting set up, and anybody can get set up and upstart, 2 weeks into their business, or a huge $30 million a year business can get set up in 2 minutes. And then obviously we had some sense that the no dealer fee angle would resonate, but I don't think we fully appreciated how painful a lot of these dealer fees are for merchants. And so, both of those things together have made it a huge, so far, lots of adoption on it.
What would you say roofing contractors have in common? You obviously deal with a lot of them.
I honestly love working with roofing contractors, and I spend a lot of time traveling, as you know, because we're always in touch. And I usually try to go out and see people and do on-sites, and they're just tough people. I mean, I swear, it's really great. I mean, for those of you, if anybody here is watching and has used our product and has gotten a call from me, I mean, these are generally great calls because, I understand where they're coming from. Obviously, the business I'm building is meaningfully different, but what it takes to build a business is roughly the same. And so it's great to be able to deal with roofers. Honestly, I really enjoy it. But they're very skeptical people.
They are skeptical because they're getting screwed all the time. And once the roofer gets screwed, he's going to be very careful next time before signing up with anybody. And I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it now when people are skeptical, giving them their business to you because they have bad experience with somebody else. Or maybe, I think you brought the point earlier where if first 1 or 2 loans weren't great or as expected, they pretty much cancel everything and not try it again. So definitely it plays a role, I see. Did you find work-life balance yet? You're 24 years old, you have 20 travel days, last 30 days. Did you find work-life balance yet?
No, absolutely not. If anything, much further away from work-life balance than I thought I would be 2 years or so into the business. But I think I've actually abandoned it as a priority, to be honest, at this point. I've decided just not to worry about it for a couple of years because obviously I don't have a family to take care of or anything like that. So I'm just completely plugged into this.
My next question is, do you know actor Rick Moran?
No, I don't.
So he's an older actor, I think about 25 years, 25. He's one of the most promising Hollywood actors back in the day. And he pretty much retired from Hollywood, really successful career. He has a lot of movies out there. And he retired because he wanted to be a stay-home dad.
I think, yeah, this sounds vaguely familiar.
Yep, and do you see yourself ever retiring from business, like walking away for the family or for the personal life? I know right now you're business-oriented only, and I know for a fact, because I've been around you for a couple evenings, you put your personal life on breaks, but do you see any point in your life in the next 10 years when you can actually reverse it, say, I build a business, now I'm going to build my family?
It's always hard to predict. Like if I haven't been around that long, and even in the last year, one of the biggest things I learned is it's very hard to predict anything accurately about the future, just the nature of life. And so I wouldn't say, I know what's going to happen in the future in terms of that. I know family is very important to me. I'm in no particular rush to build a family. That being said, I think that when that time comes, obviously it's going to be a key thing. I think it's the most important thing, period.
In the breakout list, in the interview, you said that you ask main question to your employees where they want to be in 3-4 years. Do you know where you want to be in 3-4 years?
Well, I want to be running this business, ideally. So I'm pretty confident that's not one where I'm too worried about the natural uncertainty of the world and life. I think, I would like to be running this business in 3-4 years because from my perspective, we've only really had this product out in the last 8 months and, since IRE. And at the time, the product was really just a landing page with your logo. I mean, you remember, right? It was your logo and then the name of your company. And you'd get a text message if somebody got funded. That was the product. And today, we've got an app. You can deploy it across enterprise. You can have individual sales reps that have their own accounts. There's in-app regular, very granular reporting of where your customers are in terms of getting funded. There's a lot of other stuff that we're coming out with right now that is truly exciting. And we've, again, only really been doing this for 8 months. So, I have to say, we have an incredible team. I'm totally lucky. We really have brilliant people working on this problem. And I still think we're at less than 1% of what's possible in this space and in terms of bringing technology to our customer base.
Mark Zuckerberg said that Facebook is the greatest thing he ever built, and he doesn't believe he'll be ever build anything better than that, and that's why he stick to it. Do you feel like Hearth is the best thing you'll ever, came up with, and you're not going to build a better product? Do you think it's your end game?
Absolutely. Look, I definitely think about it like that, because it's what I'm spending all my time on. I think when I think about the business, this is what's really amazing about it, right? Is that at its core, what we're doing is, the businesses that work with us who are committed to making this product work for them and who integrate financing into their strategy and sales and how they deal with their customers, they're seeing enormous returns. I mean, you're paying out today $500 or $600 a year, and then on average you're making it back. I think today it's 13 times your money on average, and that's across thousands of contractors, some of which barely ever use it, some of which use it religiously. And so it's huge for me to be able to see that, and it gives me a lot of pleasure, and I want to continue to focus my energy there. And then on the other side of that, a lot of the homeowners are very happy, and we talked about this earlier today. The homeowners are in positions oftentimes where they have emergencies, where they have a hole in their roof, they didn't expect for it, they didn't plan for it, or maybe they had some other unexpected expense, which makes them need a loan now. And the fact that we're able to bring this type of product to them and make it easy, paperless, accessible, and bring content and support to those people, and they're very happy about it as well. So we're kind of building homes, we're helping people put homes back together, and we're helping grow these businesses. That's amazing. I couldn't have really wished for a better impact in terms of what we're doing with our time, and so I plan to continue to focus energy there.
Give all roofers who's watching us right now a piece of advice.
Look, I stumbled into this industry. It's not something I knew about. It's not something I even came across for a long time, pretty much until very recently, last couple of years. And it's truly incredible. I mean, the quality of people, even hearing your story, Dmitry, I have a lot of admiration for what you've built and where you built it from, your starting point. The whole thing is really inspirational. I think that the whole industry has so much value that it's creating in people's lives, but also financial value. And what I've noticed, and I mentioned this to you a couple of times, is, we're not coming together and building new things, right? It feels like there's a lot of different factions in roofing that I'm coming across. These guys think those guys are fake and stupid, and then those guys think these guys are bad. And then at the end of the day, I think, look, we are all kind of in this together, and I think that we need to be working together to, make much more out of this industry, because it's clearly possible. And for me, it's a problem that people casually throw out. Most roofers go out of business in a year, 2 years. That's a problem. We could probably solve that problem actually using technology. I think we could make cash management a lot easier. But the point is that the whole, not obviously it's not only cash management, but I'm trying to say that we can break down these problems and then apply solutions to them in a way that elevates the entire industry. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. And that's what I'd like to see a little bit more of. But then again, whatever they've been doing so far seems to be working. That being said, my understanding is also that Facebook seems to be bringing people together in a totally new way. And so I'm really excited about what's possible here.
Good advice, good rant. At the end, guys, we're going to introduce something brand new for all our interviews in this format. What we're going to do every single time we interview somebody, at the end, we're going to ask our guest to give something away. So before the interview, I ask Anthony to give something away, and usually get Hearth. How much does it cost right now?
It's $598 for the year if you pay it up front, or it's $99 a month on a 12-month contract.
But we at Roofing Insight is going to pick up one winner who's going to get it for $99 for an entire year. Just try it out. All you have to do is comment below who would you like us to interview next. Comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to pick up a winner within a week after it gets published. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, man, for all your time.
Great to see you.
And $99 for entire year gonna go to you guys. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the topic today in comments below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.